Hey everybody, this is Sandra. I'm a French hiker. This past summer I hiked the Tour du Mont Blanc, a very popular hike in Europe. It's in the Alps and it goes through French, Swiss and Italian Alps. It's really beautiful. It's about 170 kilometers, which is about 100 miles. You can take some variants and detours, which is what I did. So I added an extra 50 kilometers, about 30 miles more than expected. But I took my time. I stayed on the trail for 12 days. Most people do it in 9 or 10 days. I'm just going to show you what I took on the Tour du Mont Blanc, starting with the backpack. This is a Deuter Aircontact lite, 35 liters plus 10, which means the main pocket is 35 liters, and then you can add an extra 10 if you need more space up there. It's a bit heavy, and I think it's a little bit too big for a Tour du Mont Blanc. I'm sure I could have done it with like probably 25 or 30 liters. So I took way too much, of course, which I always do. Anyway, what's great about this bag is this pocket that I just closed, and which is actually connected to the main pocket. So if you need to grab something at the bottom of the bag, you don't have to go through everything that's inside. You can just grab it from the bottom. There's also like this huge pocket on top of the bag, which is easy to access when you stop hiking, and you can put a lot of things. There's inside pocket and outside pocket. It's great. And if you are into hip belt, this bag has huge hip belts with pockets. For me it was a little bit too big because I'm also wearing a fanny pack. So sometimes it was just like too many things on my hips. But I still use it sometimes, and I still think it's a great bag. So yeah, that's for the bag. And also I love the color. Concerning my shoes, I started with hiking shoes, and they were a little bit too heavy for me, and also they were made of Gore-Tex, which means that every time the shoes were wet they would take forever to dry, and sometimes the next morning the shoes were not dry. So I switched to trail shoes, and those are La Sportiva. The model is the Ultra Raptor. So they're a little bit lighter than hiking shoes, and also they're not made of Gore-Tex, so they dry very quickly when the shoes are wet. Concerning my hiking socks, I started the Tour du Mont Blanc with very cheap socks from Décathlon, and after a few days they're starting to become like paper. Seriously, it was very not comfortable to wear, even though I was trying to wash them every night at the refuge when I arrived at the shelter. But the next morning they will become more and more dry and not soft anymore. So I changed, and now I bought the darn top, which are absolutely amazing compared to my previous hiking socks. I used these shorts, which I love because they're like super light. I felt like I was wearing absolutely nothing, which was so comfortable. Those are from Décathlon also, and so the brand is Kalenji, and they're very cheap, probably like 15 or 20 euros. Yeah, pretty awesome shorts, very very nice to wear. On top I had this great Coolibar shirt. This shirt is very light, very very soft, and very comfortable to wear on a hike. Even after sweating a lot, it still doesn't stick to your skin, and I would wear it every night at camp, at the shelter, and it dries off in maybe less than an hour, 30 minutes top when it's hot. So great shirt. I also had another shirt that I don't have here with me, but it was made of cotton, which everybody knows that it's not a great shirt to hike with. I just loved the look of it, so I still took it, but after wearing it maybe 2 days on the trail, I decided not to wear it again because, of course, it was getting very heavy and very uncomfortable to wear after I started sweating. So yeah, I guess it was a bad idea. As a bra, I was wearing this sport bra from Uniqlo. Really love the look of it, but because of the padding inside, it would take forever to dry after I started sweating in it. So now when I go on hike, I don't use this one anymore. I just use one without the padding. I find it a lot more comfortable. I also had with me these leggings pants. I think they're usually made for trail from Adidas. They're very comfortable. During my Tour du Mont Blanc, it was way too hot to wear those, so I didn't really use them except one day when I was hiking Col du Bonhomme because there was so much snow. I was glad I had those instead of my shorts, but I could have done it without it. One thing that I used a lot was my hat. I don't actually think it was this hat, it was a white one, but I don't know where it is. But on some days it was getting so hot that I started to feel like a little bit dizzy, and I remember just putting my hat in the very cold water of the, you know, the water source that you find on the Tour du Mont Blanc, and then putting it on my head, and I would feel cool for like a few hours, so it was like perfect. That was my day outfit, and I got also a night outfit for when I arrived at the shelter, and it was so great to have like a clean and dry outfit to wear at night. So I never used any of it during the day in order to keep it clean. On top I had this very comfortable and soft merino wool top, which is from Décathlon. So the brand is Quechua, and I love it. It's very warm, and you know, during the night, even during a heat wave, in the mountains the temperature drops a little bit at night, so I was glad I had that. And at the bottom I used my Patagonia leggings, which is also made of merino wool, and which is very comfortable and yeah, very light also. So. And last equipment for the night was my wool socks. So they're from Smartwool, and they're super comfortable to wear, very warm as well. So I enjoyed putting them at night because my feet were so sore after a day of hiking. It was just amazing to put my feet in those at camp. Concerning the rain gear that I took, it didn't rain much on the TMB when I hiked it, but you never know. I heard some people doing it and it was just raining every day, so I think you should still take some. So I think it's important to have some protection if it starts raining. So I had these pants, rain pants, that they don't have a zipper, but they're wide enough at the bottom that you can actually put them on top of your shoes without removing everything. These are from Quechua, so very cheap. I think they're like 10 euros or something like that. It doesn't take much space in the bag, so I think it's a good idea to have it. And my rain jacket, which is the North Face, made of Gore-Tex. So I love the color and I love wearing it because I don't get too warm when I wear it. It's very breathable, and also, yeah, protects me from the wind and the rain. I don't think it's necessary to have one for the wind and one for the rain, so this one works for both. It also has this huge hood, so when it starts raining you have like this little cap on top that protects you from the rain, and pretty cool. Also, another piece of gear that I took but never used on the TMB was this fleece. It's from North Face. It was way too hot to wear that. Plus, I also took a puffy, a down puffy from North Face as well, which this one I didn't use it, but I'm glad I had it because if it gets really cold at some point during the night, it's always great to have this, and it's super light, but it totally doubles with the fleece, so only take one of them, and if I had to choose, I would take the puffy and not this one. Moving on to trekking poles. So some people hike with, some people hike without trekking poles. Some people only take one. I take both of them because, especially in the Alps, sometimes it gets really steep, and sometimes you have to cross streams. Sometimes you have to cross neve, which are like pieces of snow left from the winter. And I was very glad I had the walking poles because, well, it saved me from many falls. So yeah, and they're pretty light. Those are from Komperdell. So yeah, it's a French brand and they're awesome. Talking about falling, I hiked Tour du Mont Blanc in June, which is very early in the season, and last summer we had in France some pretty late snowfall. So when I hiked the Tour du Mont Blanc, there was still a lot of snow. So I decided to bring some spikes. Those are from AU Hike, and they're not crampons, so you cannot actually climb with them, but they just help you. Like if you have to cross some snow, you can just like put them on your hiking shoes or your trail shoes, whatever. And well, I cannot do it without wearing the shoes, but you just have to like put them like that, and you have little spikes underneath your shoes, and they help so you don't fall every time you walk on the snow. Personally, I wouldn't have been able to hike the entire Tour du Mont Blanc without them, because I was very scared to slide down and die. So yeah, I was glad I had those, and they're a bit heavy, but so worth it if you're gonna hike it during like a snowy season. Don't forget your spikes. For my electronics, I had this bag full of like cables and extra batteries, you know, for my camera, for my GPS, which I will show you in a second, for my headlamp. I think I took way too much, but I wasn't sure, and I was afraid I would like be out of battery, so you know, lesson for the future, take less. I also had this charger, extra external battery. My headlamp, it's a Petzl. I think this one is a 300 lumens, which is not a lot, but I mean, I was not camping, so it's not like I needed to, and I was not hiking during the night, so actually I didn't really need it. But every time I go and hike in the forest or in the mountain, I take one with me because I don't want to be in the dark. Another piece of gear that I had with me, not used, it's this emergency blanket. It doesn't weigh much, so just grab one. So I was talking about the GPS. I had this Garmin. It's the eTrex 30X. To be honest, I only used it to like know how many kilometers I would do each day. I never got lost on the, almost never got lost on the TMB because it's pretty well marked. So you won't need to, I didn't use it to follow the itinerary, just to know what I was doing. Concerning the water, I started Tour du Mont Blanc with the 3 liters camelback, but because of my bag, I couldn't put the camelback outside. I always have to put it in the inside pocket. So which means once the camelback was empty, I had to remove half of what's in my backpack to be able to remove the camelback, put water in it, and then put it back, which, trust me, after a few days I was not willing to do anymore. So I just stopped using it. I just used like a regular plastic bottle that I filled all the time at water sources. You should know that On Tour du Mont Blanc there are water sources everywhere, almost everywhere. So it's not like you need to carry 3 liters of water, it's way too much. Concerning my toiletry bag, I had some, well, of course my toothbrush, toothpaste, a few wipes, you know, for the face and the body, and when I couldn't take a shower at the shelters, some shelters don't have showers, so I would do like a cat toilet with wipes. A protection cream from the sun, because in the summer in the Alps you can pretty easily get sunburned, so yeah, use that because you won't enjoy the rest of your hike if you're completely sunburned after the first day. I also had a few, you know, band-aids, competes for my feet, which actually I realized were not helpful. What was helpful was this tape. Of course I didn't take the entire, just a little piece of it, but I ended up putting tapes on my blisters and on my toes, like around my toes, because they were hurting so much in my very bad hiking socks. So yeah, tapes. This tape actually saved my life. A piece of gear that I don't have here with me, actually 2 of them. First one, gaiters. I used the gaiters on only one day because it was very snowy. Not sure it's something that was absolutely necessary, but I just like gaiters a lot, so I used the TLS outdoor gaiters one day. Those are the high one. And the second piece of gear that I had is a sleeping bag liner. I think it's actually mandatory to have one if you sleep in the shelters, because, you know, for hygienic reason they don't change the sheets every day on the beds, so they ask people to bring their own liners. So yeah, it's a little bit cleaner. I have the C2 Summit Thermalite Reactor, I think it's called. It's like a, it's orange, it's the orange one. It's actually very warm. So it was a bit too warm for me during the summer, but I love it because it's really soft and it doesn't take much space in the bag. So yeah. Actually, I forgot one thing, sorry. I told you I was also wearing a fanny pack where I put like stuff that I use all the time, so I don't have to remove my backpack and grab stuff. So fanny packs are awesome when I hike, I love them. And in my fanny pack I had my camera, but I'm using it now to record this video. It's a compact Sony I bought also this silicone protection for my Sony. And in my fanny pack I will have the camera, the little pod, which is only a few grams, and I was solo hiking, so I would put my camera on this little pod and take a picture of me. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments. I will try to answer as much as possible. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. It's Sandra Hikes. I will put also the link beneath the video. I'm planning on doing a much longer hike in a few months. So yeah, go ahead and follow me because I will have a lot more to tell you. Bye.